Well, joining me now for more on this is MKO Abiola, President, MKO Abiola Center for Youth and Sports Development Africa, Abdulmumin Abiola. Good to have you on the news at this time. So yes, it's been 26 years now since the passing of the late Kudirat Abiola, and we understand she's been remembered as a valiant woman who stood firm on democratic principles and of course died for human dignity. Now, what more can you tell us about the late Kudirat Abiola, who incidentally is your mother, and what other legacies did you tell us she left behind?
Wow. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you, the TVC family, as well as you for having me today. This is it's a bittersweet day. From what your little summary for the introduction, we find that for me, I'm so proud of what she was able to accomplish. But at the same time, I would have hoped that my mom was here with me, to see what I've grown up to become. But if you were to ask me, one of the things that I remember about my mother was she was so humble, and that is one thing that I've always tried to emulate in my character as well. My mom, when I was a young, because she passed away when I was about 9 years old. She was killed when I was 9 years old. She always tried to make it clear to me that no matter what affluence and what money and what cars and popularity the family or my father had, we must still remember that there were so many people in Nigeria who had way less than, and we shouldn't feel entitled, or we shouldn't feel like we have some kind of ownership to something, because this life is supposed to be shared. We're supposed to share and we're supposed to grow together. So I think she wanted to let me know that no matter what I saw, I should always be able to put myself in other people's shoes. So that's one thing that I think most people need to know about Alhaja Kudirat Abiola. She did not really see herself as the wife of MKO Abiola. She saw herself as a regular human being who was just trying to make it through in the best way she knew how. So I'm very proud of my mother. But like I said, it's still bittersweet because I know not only me, but my six other siblings would love to have that motherly love and advice from time to time that we actually lost out on. But like I said, just like my mom taught me, I had her for 9 years. Now, that is 9 years that some people didn't have with their mothers. Some people were born and did not even know their mothers. So I am very grateful to Allah for letting me even know her for just that period of time, because in that 9 years, I think the person I am today was mostly crafted in my formative years.
Now, let's quickly look at some of her legacies, which we understand include her quest for a better Nigeria. What are your thoughts on how the country has evolved since that period? Do you think we are on the democratic path?
Well, like I've always said this, people have asked me this question over and over again, and I've always said democracy is not a destination, it's a journey. And being a journey, it's imperative on those who are participating in this democracy to engage in the system. What my father and my mother struggled to do was to give Nigerian people ownership of their destinies. And I think that's mostly important. Today we have a democracy, well and good. I question, first of all, the legality of this democracy, because the constitution that we actually practice was handed down to us by our masters abroad. I've always stated that, and the constitution itself is a lie. It states we the people. I don't remember any day where they had a competition with the Nigerian people to decide exactly how they wanted to be governed. And the continuous use of a false or a contraption of a constitution is only going to dig us deeper into this hole. But notwithstanding, like I said, democracy is not a destination, it's a journey. We have to work within the framework that we have. And in this framework, I will say this: the most important part of this democracy, or democracy in general, is active participation. I am of the firm belief that if you have 80% voter coverage, like people with voters cards are 80% of the population, we need to vote in the next president with at least 60%. That gives that person a mandate to make and change or amend things that needs to be changed. And it also gives that person a fear that if he's not able to adhere to the wishes of the people, then he'll be held accountable. But what we have today is you have a situation where you have, let's say, 20 million people with voters cards, and then the president or the governor is voted by, let's say, 2 million. That is less than 20% of the population. In that I don't see as a mandate to do anything. Matter of fact, every time you try to make a move, there will be a group of people who will prop up and say, because the mandate is not as strong as it should be in a true representative democracy. Democracy is only as good as the amount of people it represents. I continue to encourage Nigerian people to get their PVCs, collect the monies that are being handed to you, because the money belongs to you, it does not belong to them, but vote for the prosperity of the nation.
All right.
I continue to admit to that thought process.
That's a fine place to leave it. Abdulmumin Abiola, President, MKO Abiola Center for Youth and Sports Development Africa. We appreciate your insights on the news at 7 this evening.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me, and may God bless Nigeria.
Amen.